Alright folks, according to all the YouTube experts, I'm supposed to keep introducing myself. I'm Jay, as y'all know. Well, I'm going to start doing the fishing reports. It was probably 3 weeks ago I did a fishing report on what's going on the Salmon River. So a lot has happened between the first report and right now. We're in the last week of August when I'm doing this, and a lot has happened over there. We've had Tropical Storm Fred come through and dump copious amounts of rain into the area. So between the point where I said, hey, you know, this is my crystal ball and I broke a magic 8 ball, this is what I think's going on. Now we got a little bit of some things have happened. To start with, about a week ago, Tropical Storm Fred came through the Salmon River watershed and bullseyed it. At one point, the Salmon River, hey, I'm on the bank of the Salmon River, by the way, folks. Tell you where I am. Finally back on the water's edge. This river here hit 5,000 CFS at the Pineville gauge, or close to it. So we had a tremendous amount of water, like spring flood conditions, runoff water came through. Right now, we're at, the dam release is at 350 CFS. So the water you'll be seeing on the river there would be what it would look like for a normal fall minimum flow during salmon season right now as we're talking. Compared to last year, when you saw the river last year, we're at 185 CFS release. This is what I'm going to show you in some river shots is at 335 CFS, which is a normal water flow, minimum flow. What we try to be maintained for salmon season. So we're already have a lot more water in the system. If you take a look at the trees and everything here, the place is lush. The vegetation looks like it's the middle of May. It's so green and still growing aggressively. So big change in conditions from this year to last year. Now just before the tropical storm rains hit, there was a confirmed report out of the Douglaston Salmon Run where a couple of guys hooked into some Chinook salmon, and then of course the river blew up. After everything settled back down, there has been a couple of Chinook salmon caught down in the DSR, and on the tail end of this there is a scatter of salmon in the system. What I mean by a scatter, there might be 50 fish in, and they're spread out over 16 miles of river. So yeah, there's a couple of salmon in. The other thing is it's been hot and it's going to be hot this week. So water temperatures in the river are 70 to probably as high as 76 in the bottom of the river in the late afternoon. So the river's hot. So that's just not going to be conducive to bringing any new fish in, and the fish are in here are going to definitely be temperature stressed. So if you're looking for a chance to get an early Chinook, do it with the fishing pressures down. Now is not the time to do it. Maybe kick that thought down a week, or week down or week 2 down, and see what happens. We still got Labor Day weekend coming in. That's when the water flows are supposed to go to this 335 that we're seeing right now. We'll see if we get a pulse or not. They might run the water for the weekend at 750, gives us a little bump. Maybe that'll pull some fish in. I'm hoping it will if the river's cool. My feeling is right now, if we have cool temperatures, we get a bump, we'll probably see a handful of salmon, because the fish that we're seeing right now are wild fish, and it tells me that there's some wild fish that want to run early. So I've gone from we'll see if we have a early run to we're 50-50. We're gonna have a nice little squirt of wild fish early in the season, an early start. That's very possible right now is where I'm sitting at. So that's probably the biggest change on the river. Like I said, the water temperatures are cold, or my apologies, water temperatures are hot. It needs to be cold to make something happen. But water temperatures are very warm. So that's going to be kind of not helping with the new fish coming in. So it's going to be a wait and see. We just need to basically have the river cool off, and then we can, then it might be worth hunting for a Chinook. There might be an Atlantic salmon in here over the next couple of days. I am going to go do some stalking, see what we can find. Maybe we'll have, that high water, if there's any Atlantics yet to come in, they would be here. The question is if we can find a unicorn or not. So that's basically what's been kind of in a nutshell what's going on with the fishing. It is August. You can hear the cicadas screaming in the background. It is warm because they're screaming. That tells you it's warm. We have good water flows. That's a positive. We've had some early fish, which is a really strong positive. So I'm pretty eager. We're going to have a nice early jump, early September season. So that's got me a little excited right there. We'll have to see. You know, salmon behavior definitely dictate that. That's really what's going on right now. A couple of announcements. People have been asking about our flies. Rick and I just don't have time to fill orders. However, Pineville Sports Shop is carrying our flies, so if you stop into there, they'll have our flies there in stock for you to pick up. So that's one other thing. Of course, this weekend we got our spay casting clinic. I'll be posting some videos on that. And we're going to be working on another video here coming up pretty quick. So over the next few weeks, you're going to see a lot of videos coming up. I'm finally back on the water. I'm finally doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So we'll be throwing a lot of video stuff at you folks. It's been so wet, the damn mosquitoes are actually hatching. We got a lot of bugs. I'll tell you just how wet everything's been. The other thing is I'd probably would mention to everybody going forward is watch the water flows. Especially this year. Last year it didn't matter. If it rained an inch and a half, the river really wasn't going to change much. This year, a quarter inch of rain, half inch of rain could be a big change in water flows because the ground is so saturated. We haven't had high water fall in many years. What I mean by high water flow is 750 or above. And this year could be very possible, so pay close attention to when you come up for your trips. What are the water flows? Make sure you got some spikes on your shoes. Make sure you have a wading staff. Use some good judgment. Even when you got a salmon hooked up, don't get crazy. I tell everybody, use some common sense, live to fish another day. This could be one of those falls where you might have to be really careful on the river due to river conditions, water flow conditions. So a little bit of, don't get caught up in a moment, and you may have to use some common sense and pull a fish off once in a while, or not fish a spot because of water conditions. River conditions could be just a little sketchy, especially after last year. We could wade anywhere we wanted, walk anywhere we wanted, fish anywhere we wanted. This year it could be a little bit sketchier. And for you guys that are used to fishing in the spring for steelhead, you could see river conditions kind of imitate that a little bit. So that's pretty much what's going on. Like I said, we're going to be throwing a lot of videos out. I'm going to start doing weekly fishing reports now. So as always, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget the bell icon right about there. And keep up on that. We'll be throwing a lot of stuff at you. I'll have a few more announcements as I go through the fall of what's going on as things progress. The reports of big salmon are still coming in, and big brown trout reports are still coming in. Not a lot of fish, but some real tankers. This might be one of those years there where we don't get the numbers, but we get the tonnage in the size of the flies. Well, until next time, folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and like I said, more's coming. See ya. This is Jay at JPEG Guides and Lost River Fishing. We are a year-round fly fishing catch and release guide service. We fish the Lake Ontario tributaries, and then during the spring and the summer we also fish the inland trout streams, classic dry fly fishing. During the heat of the summer we will do the warm water fishing for bass and pike. If you're interested in any of our outings or have any questions, please feel free to email us at fish@lostriversfishing.com. Hope to hear from you, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact us.